Namaskar. I'm Rajiv Bhatnagar here from BHL. Kindly bear with us for another 1 or 2 minutes. We're just waiting for a few dignitaries to join us, and we shall be starting very soon. Thank you very much for bearing with us. Namaskar and good morning to all the delegates joining for today's special event, BHL Samvad, an interactive forum for strengthening the cause of Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is being organized under the mentorship of Department of Heavy Industry, Government of India. At the outset, I welcome you all to have spared your valuable time on this busy Monday morning. In fact, we are also welcoming those who are watching the event live through BHL Facebook page and also BHL's YouTube channel. While we would have loved to conduct this event in the physical form, but due to the ongoing pandemic, it was deemed fit to conduct it on the digital stage. So hence, barring our speakers, I request all the delegates to kindly keep their mics muted and videos in off mode to support smooth conductance of this today's events and proceedings. So beginning today's event, I request our CMD, Dr. Nalin Shinghal, to deliver his welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rajiv. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to BHL Samvad on a rather cold winter morning. We are privileged to have with us Shri Arun Goyal, Secretary, Department of Heavy Industries, Shri Devendra Singh, Additional Secretary and Development Commissioner, Ministry of MSME, Shri Rajesh Gupta, Director, DPIIT, representatives of various industry associations, including CII, FICCI, IMA, PhD Chambers of Commerce, ASSOCHAM, members of the BHL Board of Directors, heads of various BHL manufacturing units, BHL business partners, as well as prospective industry partners for BHL. We at BHL have been making in India for more than 5 decades and have taken a number of initiatives in response to the Honorable Prime Minister's clarion call for Atmanirbhar Bharat. These initiatives include initiatives for partnering with international OEMs, for in-house development and manufacture within BHL, as well as collaborative working with various industry and academia partners. In parallel, BHL has taken up a number of initiatives for diversification of its own business into areas like into strategic engineering sectors, including oil and gas, defense, aerospace, railways, renewable energy, etc. We have an extensive network of manufacturing partners and suppliers, and we are keen to strengthen and further expand this network by supporting our existing suppliers to expand their range and to get new suppliers into our fold. With this objective, we have envisioned this series of online workshops, BHL Samvad, where we will be sharing details of our own requirements as well as the procedures and policies and seeking your inputs as to how to further strengthen this manufacturing ecosystem. The objective, our prime objective for all of us is to develop indigenous manufacturing capabilities and enhance competitiveness and reduce dependence on imports. I am grateful for the support we have been receiving from Department of Heavy Industries as well as from the DPIIT and the Ministry for MSME in this regard. MSMEs are a very important group in this initiative in terms of enhancement of innovation for providing competitive development and supply, and to meet the national goals in terms of employment and industrial development. I once again welcome you all today to this first workshop in the series of BHL Samvad, where we are presenting our requirements in terms of our requirement for indigenization of more than 300 items across 7 categories, which are currently imported by 16 manufacturing units of BHL, with a total value of almost 3,000 crores per annum. Details of the specific items have also been shared through an EOI hosted on the BHL website. I look forward to your active support and participation and to getting down to business together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for welcoming and setting the context for today's proceedings. So now for the first plenary address of the day, I call upon Shri Rajesh Gupta ji, Director from Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, DPIIT, a department which is responsible for determining the industrial policy at central government level. It is DPIIT which has been spearheading national initiatives of Make in India, Invest India, and metrics for ease of doing business in India. So I welcome Shri Rajesh Gupta ji. Over to you, sir, for your address.
Thank you. Respected Secretary DHI, Additional Secretary, Ministry of MSME, CMD, BHEL, other senior officers from the government, from BHEL, and the industry representatives here. Good morning to all of you. At the outset, I thank BHEL for organizing this interactive samvad with the Industry Association for Development of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So for making India Atmanirbhar, our political leaders have given several themes, including FDI, PLI, public procurement. But essentially, since the theme here is the sourcing of the components which various procuring entities require, our discussion will be, I will be speaking primarily on the public procurement. So from public procurement perspective, DPIIT came out with public procurement preference to Make in India order in 2017. The order basically essentially was to increase the local manufacturing, to increase job opportunity for the markets. In fact, the public procurement, government is the biggest buyer in major socialistic welfare state. In India, the size of public procurement is approximately 20% of the GDP. So GDP, we are taking GDP $2.5 trillion. So the size of public procurement is anything like $500 billion. So in rupee terms, approximately 35 to 40 lakh crore of rupees. So such a big buyer government can create a lot of impact on the industry, lot of impact for promotion of the industry. And it becomes all the more serious, particularly when India, the share of manufacturing in India GDP is only 15%. The government attempt was to take it to 25%. So it was with this objective that PPPMI order we came out in 2017. The order was in very simple order. It primarily says, give fair and equal opportunity to domestic suppliers to participate in the bidding process. Now we will be surprised to see that Indian suppliers are not being given an opportunity by the Indian buyers, government buyers in the bidding process. But how? They were indicating the foreign brands in the tenders. So naturally all domestic suppliers were out from the bidding process. They were indicating foreign can qualify for the bidding process. A very simple example. An airport was procuring telecom equipments, and the specification said that the equipment should be compatible for operations at -25°C. It was an airport in the plains. Everybody knows -25° means it will never touch even -5°. Still we were procuring equipment for -25°. Just to favor and just to ensure that some players from the European countries are able to participate in the bidding process, and Indian suppliers are out from the, eliminated from the bidding process. Again, taking the case, lifts were being procured in the country with the eligibility criteria, 25 years of experience and 500 crore turnover. The results were only 4 suppliers in the country, or the 5 suppliers, like the big multinational Otis, Schindler, Kohn. They were getting qualified. All Indian bidders were able to participate in the bidding process. So all these were the eliminating techniques, how the Indian suppliers were eliminated from the bidding process. And the order came out just said in a very simple language, kindly give fair and equal opportunity to Indian bidders to participate in the bidding process. Just let us recall the simple case of Talabira power project in which BHEL intended BHEL could not participate in that tender because of the Rule 6 of the CA guidelines were not permitted. Based upon DPIIT intervention, all these matters were taken up. And just we like to say that on account of the fair and equal opportunity of the Indian bidders were not provided, there are as many as 38,000 crore worth of tenders which have been cancelled and modified because fair and equal opportunity was not provided by the procuring entities in India and based upon the intervention of DPIIT. So the order first theme was, let us give fair and equal opportunity to the Indian suppliers in the bidding process. Second essential main theme of the order was, for the items for which there is sufficient local capacity and competition in the country, let us source only from the domestic suppliers. So take the case of the paper. It is being manufactured in the country in sufficient quantity and there is adequate competition amongst the local suppliers. So the order says, why should we procure from the outside people when they, in case they are dumping into country and destroying the market? And third aspect of the order was, for all other items, let us give 20% purchase preference to the Indian suppliers in the bidding process. So essentially, three themes of the PPPMI order. One, provide fair and equal opportunity to the local suppliers in the bidding process. Do not have anything restrictive against them. Second, for the let us procure only from the local supplier. Third, let us give purchase preference if the local supplier falls within 20% of the L1 quoted price. There were other associated measures also, like let procuring entities was asking, project your procurement on the website so that Indian industry understands what is the requirement and they can plan their capacities accordingly. Then there were special provisions to promote transfer of technology projects, means there the lower local content requirement can be notified by, and to encourage them in the government supply process. Now in the recent past, there has been subsequent, it was the original version 2017, there were subsequent changes in 2018, 2019 and in 2020 based upon the political decisions taken in the country based upon our Honorable Prime Minister clarion call for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Some of the significant changes were made in the order. Now I will be just sharing. First, the global tenders should not be invited for tender for purchase value less than 200 crores. And associated thing, in the domestic tender, in case Indian agents are participating, so debar them from participation. So all those suppliers who are having less than 20% local content, who are essentially traders, debar them from participation in the domestic tenders, because domestic tenders are for the Indian industry. Let Indian industry participate there. And again, there was another important changes we just like to share with you. That Rule 144.11 of GFR was amended, mandating that the companies or the bidding entities having beneficial ownership in countries sharing land in India will be eligible to bid in the bidding process only if they are registered with the competent authority in Government of India. It was just to check the rampant or the bad practices which were prevalent in the country from some of the companies from these countries. Now we understand, because of these restrictions imposed on global tendering, from sourcing from companies from particular country, companies having beneficial ownership in some countries, This has got some impact or some limitations or some rather significant impact on the global supply chain, particularly for the capital goods manufacturing company like BHEL, because they are sourcing many components from outside. But at the same time, it is also true that in the last 70 years, very little emphasis was laid on the manufacturing in the country, and most of the components or the subcomponents were getting imported from outside. So under these circumstances, under these challenging times, it is great that BHEL is organizing this interaction forum with the industry. And it is important that the industry rise to the occasion to meet this Atmanirbhar call given by our Honorable Prime Minister by manufacturing these components or those items which are right now imported in the country. It is also important for the procuring entities like BHEL or for that matter any of the procuring entity to ensure that when we are buying or when we are encouraging or developing these vendors, we ensure that they are handholded properly. We do not stipulate any unreasonable conditions which create a hindrance for development of these entities. It is also important for the nodal ministries like DHI to make special provisions under PPPMI order for these vendors who will be developing these new component and parts for BHEL or for that matter for the other public sector units. And of course, it is a bigger responsibility for all of the administrative machinery to ensure that the supply chain is not disrupted for the components or the items which cannot be manufactured in the country. The approval is granted on priority to procuring entities. So with this, that is all I have to say. That is, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Inspiring address. I'm sure this was a music to all our Indian entities who are in this field. But since our Secretary HI has a very pressing official engagement, so I would request him to keynote address. He has been the inspiration behind this event and he has been mentoring us all through these challenging times. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to you all, Dr. Nanil Singhal and friends. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please let me know when there's any interruption so that then I can shift to some other data point, because this is what has happened in the past. So as Dr. Nanil Singhal outlined, the context of today's Samvad, and thereafter Mr. Rajesh Gupta gave the nitty-gritty of the scheme. BHEL over the last about 6 months has been in close coordination with the private sector. So that was triggered from the resetting of the geopolitics and the economy across globe by COVID pandemic. The crux, I feel, lies in quality and cost competitiveness. See, many times we as producers expect the ecosystem to be different than we as consumers want it to be. What has happened after the globalization of the economy? Consumers across the globe have got access to such products which were not hitherto available at those prices. So there's a downside to it from the climate angle that has resulted in higher consumption and wastage, but that's not the point of discussion today. But we cannot deny the fact that the crux behind this was cost, variety, quality. we as a nation have not made much progress in that, but we have very great successes of individual entrepreneurs or companies in this. They have fared extremely well at the global scene. Now, today we are talking in context of manufacturing. In India, before 90s, the entire manufacturing was more or less in the hands of public sector. So with the opening of economy 90s, early 90s, the structure changed. Obviously, it takes time for new players to come in. But the big gap which occurred, I feel, is that the previous asset was not as well utilized in creating the new asset. In all the sectors, I won't say, for example, say in financial sector, in banking and all, best of the brains of the public sector were taken by the private sector. And so we have world-class private banks in our country. Wherever the manufacturing, we have been world-class. But at the same time, it is not in as much number as we would have wanted it to be. So just before me, if you Joint Secretary DPIIT. Now, for example, let's take the lift, which he referred to. What is the rocket science in lift, which we can't do? It's such a simple mechanics. But why were those conditions? And let's see as a consumer. Don't we want the best name, the most reliable brand, and the best quality and service? All of us want it. But do we have it? And if we don't have it, why don't we have it? So while the government can be a catalyst, the real thing has to emerge, I feel, from the private sector. Because the future, the resources, the technology has to come from the private sector. But synergy between the public sector and private sectors is essential. Now, BHEL has huge expertise across sectors. But somehow, that expertise we have not used in the consumer sector, in the consumer goods. So the objective of today's VAR is marketing. Private sector will bring the opportunities. Now, when BHEL started working on that, so they worked on the HS codes, but the demands which were given to BHEL were much less. So that was not commercially viable for BHEL to venture into those things. So that required aggregation of demand. And I'm happy that last week only BHEL in coordination with CIA has come out with that paper, which talks about the aggregation of demand. But we have to go to the last point. So we have to see the aggregation of those things. What does the consumer want? What best product is available in the world market and at what price? So government is coming out with various schemes which will support that pricing also. But quality has to come through all of you. All the brains, all the best hands have to work together to bring that quality at the competitive rates. So that will come if there's an investment, as I say. Investment will come if there's a commercial viable. Government cannot support all those things. Government can act as a catalyst. World over, the technology investment comes from the private sector. As Honorable Prime Minister last week said at a forum of industrialists, that private sector investment in R&D is one of the lowest from the private sector in India as compared to other countries. So if we have to grow, we need to bring those things. We need to bring investment. But unfortunately, we have, besides investment, we have not synergized our resources, which I was talking about, the human resource. So the academia, the industry, the private sector, they have to work closely. Toward this end, Department of Heavy Industry has launched 5 web-based tech platforms. BHEL is one. They have launched HMT, IIT Madras, ARI Pune, CMT Bangalore, and also the 6th one, ICAT Manesar. So these have been launched, which is now about 30,000 people are on board. This is going to throw open challenges. We have earmarked about 1,000 crore for that. So we want the mother technologies to be identified, challenges to be thrown, resources to be pooled, problems to be posed on that platform, answers to evolve from that platform, and then the converting those technological answers into the business answers, those organizational answers, the financial answers should also evolve from those web platforms. That's the way forward. So we all have to act as one, because in today's world, with the Internet of Things, geography and organizational barriers have faded away. So we should not be looking at that. That's how BHEL has to shed its barriers also in a more meaningful way, so more encouraged. So the vendors feel more encouraged. So it's not a thank you.
Thank you, sir. My deepest gratitude to you, sir, for your very insightful and thought-provoking address, setting the tone for this samvad between BHEL and the participating industry stalwarts and delegates with your very pertinent live examples, urging us to break the mental barriers and join hands to address the market with indigenous technology at competitive rates and world-class quality. Thanks again, sir, for your address. Thank you very much.
And we would like to assure you, sir, that we will take your words with regard to, closing shedding the barriers and moving closer. We are taking them very seriously, sir, and we are certainly working in that direction. Thank you for your words.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So building on the thoughts that he has left us behind with, I would now call upon Shri D.K. Singh, Additional Secretary and Development Commissioner from MSME, which is an umbrella ministry for developing and promoting micro, small and medium enterprises MSME sector in India. Sir, I request you to deliver your plenary address. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, our Honorable Secretary, Heavy Industries, Sri Arun Goyal, Dr. Nalil Singhal, CMD, BHEL, other officers of BHEL, my colleagues in the ministry, our general managers of technology centers and tool rooms of MSME, and other associations and vendors. I'm really happy to see this new development. And this development is, I think, one of the effects of COVID, which has caused massive disruptions and has forced us to think in a new way. And this initiative of BHEL, that is Samvad, is a very welcome step so that different organizations of manufacturing can come together and talk to each other. We have tremendous capacities in India, there is no doubt about it. But many a times we feel that we are working in our silos and we do not know what are the great strengths in the neighborhood. So such dialogues would prompt us to understand each one's requirements better and to use our inherent capacities for better manufacturing processes. Perhaps you are aware that government has revised the definitions of MSME, the criteria of classification of micro, small, and with this enhanced limitations of turnover and total investment in plant and machinery, lot of changes are going to happen in this sector. And this will give a new direction to the manufacturing in our country and also services related industry as well. But I am looking forward through BHEL and similar other organizations to work together for the manufacturing. I would like to inform that our ministry has 18 technology centers. Some of them were also known as tool rooms. These were set up with the help of under bilateral cooperations. Some of them have been established from German assistance, some of them from Danish, some of them from UNDP. And these are located at different parts of the country. At present, government is also in the process to set up 15 additional tool rooms with the help of World Bank assistance. Few of them are already in operation. A few of them are under operation. These are extremely good institutions, and they have a lot of capability. And what our Secretary Heavy Industries was mentioning about the quality requirements, they are certified and they comply to best of the quality requirements and standards. They have the best machines. They have actually 5-axis CNC machines, 7-axis CNC machines. And some of them are supplying machines to even defense related to ISRO and other institutions. How to deepen this process? Now, only few of our institutions are connected to the best of the manufacturing, institutions. How all of them can contribute together? That is the question we must discuss and find a way out to have a better collaboration with these institutions. And it must be a long-term relationship. It is not for one product or one component. The relationship must be built on a long-term basis with a clear understanding that what are their expectations, what are your expectations, and what they can deliver in a timely manner. So if that we are able to do, I am sure that a lot of things can be done together. I was looking at import data of different commodities. We have around 358 items which are exclusively reserved for manufacturing in MSME. It is a pain to note that even those items we are importing. As small as items like nut bolts, hand tools, naphthalene balls, testers, metallic valves, voltage stabilizer. These items I am mentioning where the import is more than 500 crores a year. So there is a need to think and reflect why it is happening. Similar, if we see that data for heavy machinery and machine tools, transport equipment, then the annual import bill is more than 30,000 million US dollars. So I visualize that there is a tremendous opportunity for domestic manufacturing in all these sectors. And since BHAIL is the mother of so many things, probably a little push from your organization will help the industry in a long run for domestic manufacturing. The second point I would like to say about the public procurement policy, but I will not go in detail because DPIIT has given in greater length and explained the details. What I am requesting that we need to strengthen our vendor development program and this program should be strengthened in such a way that you focus not only on T1 vendor, but also on T2 vendor and T3 vendor, so that there is a strength in the entire supply chain. And I don't know how your organization or probably the heavy industry ministry probably can think to extend a separate line of credit for your vendors. If you provide a separate line of credit to your vendors, it will strengthen the manufacturing process. It will give a quality product also. It will help in getting quality products. And it will be little different from your buyer and seller relationship. So if we are able to achieve that, I think it will be a great contribution to the call of Atmanirbhar Bharat and fulfilling the requirements of the country. I would like to inform our CMD that when I got this information about your program, I wanted a feedback from my tool rooms and technology centers, that in what area they can collaborate with you. I'm happy to say that CTR Ludhiana, CTTC Bhubaneswar, ITDR Jamshedpur, CCT Kolkata, these 4 centers have expressed a strong desire to have a partnership in manufacturing on different, like manufacturing of taper spindle, manufacturing of sleeve, manufacturing of motor, manufacturing of retaining washers, piston rings, shaft bush, mechanical components, casting and forging, and other products. They have made a long list of products where they will be able to do that. They are equipped with the best machines. I can assure you that in the machining part, they will be able to deliver whatever is the requirement from your organization or other central PSUs. And we are in the process of modernizing these tool rooms. We are in the process. And I would also like to, when we are floating so many tenders. Now we find that there is a huge gap in the cost, what our central PSU participate and what the L1 is. Like HMT is a regular, participant in our tenders, but their costs, they're not cost competitive. What our Secretary Heavy Industries was saying, that cost competitiveness and quality competitiveness is the criteria if we want to succeed. How to do it? You are the best judge. You people have 30 years, 40 years of experience, technical competence. You are the leaders, and I'm sure under your leadership, and these things can be done in a much better way with a better collaboration and partnership. These are my thought process, and I am happy for that you choose to invite us and have a dialogue with us. And I congratulate Vale Fraternity for this initiative and able guidance of the Ministry of Heavy Industries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. In fact, the data that you have shared actually throws up a challenge to the Indian industry to match up with global standards. And the assurance that we have received through you with regards to collaboration with Toolroom is really welcome, sir. We would try and match up your expectations. Thank you very much once again, sir. So now let's begin the Samvad. We shall now be presenting our presentation with which I'm sure it is going to act as a lighthouse of myriad opportunities for the local industry. And for the presentation, I call upon my colleague, Sri Venkat Rao, General Manager, Sourcing Strategy and Policy, taking you through this. I can assure you that by the end of this event today, all the delegates from the business fraternity would be leaving with a blueprint of a prospective business opportunity in a new line of product that would also support our nation to be an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So over to you, Sri Venkat.
Thank you, sir. As already briefed by Director DPIIT regarding the evolution of how the public procurement policy has happened, it has already been built. These are the milestones. And of course, yes, the whole entire focus for an Atmanirbhar Bharat started in June this year. And BHEL has been part of this exercise since 2017. And now we are going with a renewed focus on this particular part of it. BHEL's frame, we have devised our own, with the support of Department of Heavy Industry. There are different ways. One is we have already gone for collaboration, how we are going to collaborate for technology and manufacturing with the local industry. The second part, we are also, the whole purpose of this today's program is to how to see how do we indigenize the items which were being imported hitherto, either by in-house engineering or manufacturing in BHEL, or by supporting the local industry in this regard. Similarly, we also we are going to act as a catalyst. BHEL is going to act as a catalyst for which already this Sanrachna portal has been enabled to see how the challenges which are faced in engineering and manufacturing can be addressed together, all of us sitting together, along with the industry, BHEL, and even the academia. It could be even crowd sourcing of ideas also there. And we also we are going to support the total entire ecosystem in terms of our own in-house R&D and testing infrastructure. This is one of the, this is our framework of how we are going to go ahead in this program. What the outreach initiatives which have been taken by BHEL, since this was started much earlier in April 2020, on 29th April, we issued an expression of interest trying to invite all manufacturers, how they can collaborate with BHEL in various areas, be it technology or even contract manufacturing and many other ways. Again, we had a workshop on July 3rd under the name of Sanyojan, where again we discussed our ideas of how we can collaborate together. As already briefed by Secretary Heavy Industries just now, under the support, with the support and with their back-end support, we had gone with Sanrachna, a technology innovation platform. It is already there. Many MSMEs have already joined this particular portal also. And through this forum, I would request all the industrial fraternity, including the MSMEs, kindly see that you come onto this platform. You can have your problems, they can be placed there. There are solutions also going to be there from the BHEL experts in BHEL and also the experts in the institutions. Pursuant to the minute with Cabinet Secretariat on 10th of November, we issued an expression of interest on BHEL website where the 5-year projections were made along with the specifications of each and every item which are there. Then we are thankful to IEMA. They have come forward and we had an interaction with them on 18th of November where we shared our ideas. And in this month, already with the support of DPIIT, we had an interaction with the local industry on 3rd December. And later, starting today, we are going to have a series of workshops under the name of BHEL Samvad with the domestic industry. In BHEL, we have worked out what is the average procurement of our goods in the last 5 years. And if you see from the slide, 81% of our sourcing is from the local industry. And still, there are around 19%, which works out around 3,000 crores per annum. We have been importing. And if we see what could be the challenges and how together, all of us sitting here, how we can navigate through these challenges, we have 5 areas. One is a case of where technology is not available or the capability is not available in the country. Raw material is not available in the country. There are capacity constraints. And of course, there are cases of inadequate domestic competition, which actually results in a bit of higher procurement costs. But this is something we are going to address it together today. I'm just sharing a few examples of each of these categories. In technology, we have cases of generator circuit breakers. We have a boiler water circulating pumps where the issues of the motor also, because it has to be because of submerged and water, there the motors have to be designed accordingly. We have the integrated electronic devices where we do not have the semiconductor fab industry in the country. Other day, on 15th of December, MeitY, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology issued an expression of interest, all of you would be aware, seeking participation or interested suppliers or entities who would like to set up such a facility in the country. And capability, we have the issues of our solar ingots and wafers, the C276 sheets where nickel content is around 60%, and the titanium sheets where it is presently not there, and we would look forward to the industry in this regard and how they can come forward and support us. Raw material, nickel, is not there in the country, nor is it mined. Likewise, chromite sand, where we have to depend on South Africa. And capacity constraints, we have seen in the case of cladded sheets, there are Indian vendors, but the capacity, they are not able to meet there's a demand-supply gap there. Likewise, in the case of alloy steel pipes and tubes. And in inadequate domestic competition, I'm just sharing a few examples where I have one or two vendors. Coming to, as already shared by our Chairman Managing Director just now, we have around 9 categories with around 300 plus items. And there are 16 manufacturing units across the country looking forward on how these items can be developed within the country. And we have a projection of around 3,000 crores per annum. This is our data here. And the categories we have also indicated what are different types of categories also. So I've just shared just now as to what we have, how we have devised our framework. Now, before I go ahead with a further presentation on how we get on to business, I'm going to share items, some major items where we are going to share the details also. And after that, we are going to even share what BHEL has, how it is going to support the industry, and what is the calendar of our workshops also.
And then open forum.
Yeah. Then we are going to have an open forum after the calendar calendar workshop is shared. The first slide I would just like to share here are the case of solar business, where solar cells are manufactured in the country, but there are limitations, capacity limitations. And even for the solar cells, we need to depend, not only BHEL, the industry in particular, but to depend for imports on solar wafers, the aluminium paste, and even the silver paste front or back. And as far as photovoltaic modules are concerned, we have the items which are already displayed here, anodized aluminum frames, the polymer backsheet, and the EVA. The basic thing we'd like to share here, we are giving a projection, what is our per annum requirement, what is the HSN code, and who are the other clients also who are looking for the same item. For the same item, who are the other clients who are looking for the same item. This is an area where we are going to see growth also in the future, and I feel domestic industry, all of you can come forward, and we are going to support in whatever way we can. Coming to CRGO coils, most of what you be aware, these are used in the power transformers, but the coils, the mother coils are not manufactured in the country. They're of different grades, 85 and 23DR and even 27DR for 90 grade. We have a projection of around 140 crores there per annum. Of course, the quantity will be a bit much bigger because we are not shown that because we have lamination processes within the country who are otherwise importing these coils and delivering it to BHEL. In CRNGO, a specific grade of 50270 for our hydro generator, we have there was one supplier earlier, but who has informed that they are going to change their product profile. That's the reason we now invite the industry. In fact, the likes of JSW, everyone are there. That will be helpful for us if not they can come out with their ideas. In flue glass desulfurization, there are items which are used for the cladding, the lining of the chimney. It is our C276 sheets where nickel content is on 60%, and the plates also, and the titanium sheets. And not only these materials, even the cladding of these plates, that is the nickel or titanium sheets have to be cladded onto the carbon steel plates, or even in the case of refinery pressure vessels, we need to have the cladding of carbon steel and stainless steel also. Likewise, low alloy steel and stainless steel. So these are the requirements. In case of alloy steel pipes for P91 and P92 grade, we do not have vendors. Whenever we float a tender, we float an open tender, but we have seen that the domestic industry may have their limitations, but we will get to know through this open house when we discuss today. For seamless alloy steel tubes T91, we have one vendor in Ahmedabad, but there are some size limitations. In the case of tubes of T92 and T23, also we do not have. We are looking forward for participation from the domestic industry. And T347 stainless steel, we have one vendor. Yes. Now we are looking forward for more number of vendors in the country who can come forward and see how we can go together on this. In the case of raw material, nickel, chromite sand, nitride, low carbon, ferrochrome, and fluorspar. These four cases, as BHL always does the open tender, but we see here actually the participants are either the foreign OEMs or if it is an Indian bidder, he happens to be a non-local supplier, less than 20% value addition. So if at all we can do some, but we can't do much about this when the metal itself, by nature itself, it's not available in the country. But we can think of new ideas here. Next. And castings and forgings, we have our LP router forgings and IP and HP shaft forgings also. In all these cases, we have our own in-house foundry plant. In BHL, whenever reverse auction is conducted, generally H1 bidder is eliminated. As far as MSCs are concerned, this elimination is not there. Same is the case with Make in India also. And the other thing is, as far as startups are concerned, in BHL, we have relaxation for prior experience and prior turnover for startups. And of course, we are already onto government e-marketplace, where there's a thing called startup runway, which is in consonance with DPIIT. Startups can register themselves on GEM, and they can have the all BHL tenders are available for them where they can participate. With these few words, I thank you all. Of course, before that, I would like to just share the workshop. Our intent is not to conduct one program today. We are going to discuss each and every item in every category, for which I have given a schedule here, starting from 29 December, every Tuesday and every Friday, from 10 to 12. We will be having discussions with a specific group of vendors, only to see how together we can work out a schedule on development of the item within the country, and also draw timelines for this, so that together we can march forward. My request to all through this forum, try to share these details with as many group members and vendors, so that they can come forward and participate in these workshops. This is from 29 December till 27th of Jan. If required, we may be extending it also based on the need.
Thank you, Venkat. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. In fact, I would request all those, there are many of our friends and colleagues who have joined us and watching this event live on BHL's Facebook and YouTube channel. They may not be able to have a direct interaction today, but for the benefit, they can always contact us at samvad@bhl.in, the email ID, which is already indicated over here. So with this, now we throw the forum open for any questions from the participants. First of all, we have, in fact, with us Mr. Sanjay Trivedi from IMA. We would request him to please share his thoughts and seek whatever clarity and information that he needs from BHL. Trivedi ji, you can. You are unmuted, Trivedi ji. You can share your thoughts now.
Enter the extension of the person you want to call, the meeting you want to join, and press the pound or hash key.
Okay, in that case, he is taking little time to come online. Maybe request the other gentlemen who have raised their hands. From JSW, we have Mr. Kailas Mathapati. You can unmute yourself and
I'm audible?
yes, you are.
Hello?
You are, sir. You are.
Okay.
Yeah, you are. You are audible, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So it's really a great forum, and it's really appreciate the initiatives taken from Bharat Heavy Electrical for arranging such a sessions. And we will definitely look forward for having the further workshop sessions along with for the different segments of the material. So I think as per your schedule, we will be joining on 29th also, where for electrical steel, since JSW is there for the electrical steel business as well as for the alloy steel. We are manufacturing the alloy steel from our Salem plant. So definitely we will look forward that. And that's what the from JSW we like to propose any support which is required for these great initiatives. We like to vote a thank off to BHEL for arranging this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, we also.
Yeah.
Thank you to Jindal Steelworks. Basically, in fact, I'm thankful that you'll be participating on 29th. We have also enabled a form, Google form, wherein all vendors can submit their interest, which type of workshop they would like to participate. We will share this, and please contact us on samvad@bhl.in, and we'll see that we have a good workshop where sufficient deliberations are there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So raise hand question বলার জন্য সর্বজন হাত তুলে
Mr. Jain, you're audible. You can go ahead with your query, please.
I am first of all, we are thankful to BHEL and the Heavy Industries Ministry for organizing this Samvad conference, and it is really very insightful and glad to learn about the future of the BHEL. We are a tube manufacturer where we make alloy steel tubes and supplying to BHEL for boiler application. So we are one of the vendor which is approved for T91 grade. Hello. Yeah, and yeah, we have.
Continue.
So we are approved for T91 grade alloy steel tubes with BHEL, wherein though BHEL has on paper given us approval for up to a certain size range, we have experience and capability of manufacturing sizes beyond what BHEL has given us approval. Secondly, being T91, we have developed our own, I won't say technology, but we have developed the product on our own without any technical cooperation. That we are totally Atmanirbhar for T91. We are fully confident that we can do T92 grade as well in India on our own without any foreign help or that sense foreign technical cooperation. We only need support from BHEL to encourage us that we are ready to invest from BHEL in giving us business when we are ready with the product. In that sense, but there are two issues which we face problem. One is the question of previous performance or previous track record, which obviously hitherto BHEL has been importing mainly from overseas countries, and definitely no Indian mill would be able to give past performance track record. So there BHEL has to show confidence in Indian vendors as far as the product is. Only the performance track record will come into picture when the product is put into application. It's like a chicken and egg situation. So unless there is no way that other grades and sizes would be developed in India if past performance track record is always going to be the criteria. Similarly, at times we see that there is a stumbling block about the last purchase price. If the last purchase price is benchmarked against imported materials, and the reason for this Samvad and the government initiative is to stop imports from countries bordering, having land border with India without naming anyone. But the precise reason is to stop imports from those countries, and then the last purchase price is benchmarked against those countries which have been dumping products into India. Cannot compete with those countries and prices, and in that sense, domestic manufacturing has to be encouraged irrespective of the pricing. And as and when capacity building takes place, more competition will be there, and the price will find its equilibrium on its own over a period of time. But there has to be competition among domestic industry. And the most important thing that we see of recently in this Make in India initiative of the government, especially the Atmanirbhar scheme and local content, we find some discrepancy of law in the local content formula devised by the government, wherein it only says that local content in the sense how much is the imported content as compared to the selling price. But those manufacturers who are using 100% locally made materials, whether it is steel or anything, they don't get any advantage in terms of local content.
Mr. Jain, I've seen, noted down your points. Yes, it requires a paradigm shift as far as how we are going to look at development in the country in the future. We have set the point, and we are going to re-examine and reconsider our logics also. Yes, at the same time, as far as competitive prices are concerned, yes, it will take time before the local industry reaches a sort of equilibrium in the prices. Yeah, I say we are working in both ways. One is we need to see that the immediate contractual requirements also are adhered to. At the same time, the industry is developed in the near future. That's our point, and we have noted this point. Yes, the way development is going to be looked is going to be different compared to the way it was earlier.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks. And sir, hello.
Thank you, Mr. Jain. Next, Mr. Sujoy Paul, can you unmute yourself and raise your query?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Paul.
First of all, good morning and thanks to all of you.
Good morning.
एक्चुअली मुझे एक क्वेश्चन था कि आप लोग जब ये प्रेजेंटेशन दिखा रहे थे ना, इसमें जो इंसुलेटिंग मटेरियल्स का लिस्ट था वो हम लोगों को दिखा नहीं है टेक्निकल एरर के वजह से, कि कौन सा आइटम का आप लोग इंडियन वेंडर चाहते हैं सप्लाई, क्योंकि वी आर मैन्युफैक्चरर ऑफ इंसुलेटिंग मटेरियल.
See, as far as the material is concerned, we have already shown. One is in terms of raw materials, we have shown in terms of the titanium sheets and other things. UI reference, though, na? UI, expression of interest.
No, he could not see the presentation. He mentioned it is available for details.
We can do one thing. For your help, you see that the presentation is uploaded on the website also. You can have a look at it. And I would request all of you to kindly go on to our link at bhl.com. where there is a link supply registration. There you have all the features available, and whatever it is which you could not see right now is available there, and even the item list also is available in the specification. It is there on the website.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sujoy Paul. Can I have Mr. Kailash Mahapati from JSW?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Kailash. You can go ahead.
No, I have already spoken actually. So already we have given our thoughts. So
Thank you.
we are looking forward.
Thank you. I see Mr. Arun. I see Mr. Arun. Arun, he has raised your hand. You have. You can. I'm unmuting yourself. Please, you can speak. Unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, madam. Good morning, madam. This is Arun from TechCraft Delco. Actually, we are bidding for FGD dewatering system. In the inquiry, they are asking some 7,000 hours for the consumable items, for like filter cloth and wear belt. So on these, they are asking in the guarantee. It is difficult for give guarantees on consumable items. And we may get disqualified in the technical also. And other things, madam, like they are asking some redundancy. All NTPC dewatering systems, they are asking guarantee on the consumable items and the redundancy on the electrical parts, which is not required usually in general practice. We are actually we are manufacturer of dewatering systems. We are supplying HVF all over the world, and these are our concerns. Actually, they are asking like guarantee lives on consumer items. This has to be taken care in the inquiry stages.
Mr. Arun, I noted your point. It's about the system you're talking about. And we should say, under the contractual requirement, BHL itself has to meet customer. Okay, that being equal. Yes. Secondly, whatever points you have mentioned, we will see that they are taken up to the customers for future development.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, Mr. Arun,
yes, sir.
One thing I can assure you, some of the things given in the specification in line with the supply we have to carry out for our customer, end customer. Nevertheless, the point one come out reference to the specific tender to the our unit. And we'll also look into your issues. Something that will
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Samir Khanji, I have unmuted you. You can please go ahead with your query.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to speak. First of all, let me acknowledge that this program is very welcome. I also thank BHEL for entertaining us. I represent EMA and also the MSME within EMA. So thank you for engaging with us in the last month. That was a very fruitful discussion. I would like to now ask that we have started this dialogue with BHEL already, and we are on some track on that initiative. Now you have also mentioned that on 19th of January, we will have an engagement with electrical and electronics, vendors. So my question is that the initiative that EMA has already started with BHEL, do we keep that on track and pursue that in its own right, or do we wait till you take up the 19 program? I mean, this is just a feedback I want from Mr. Rao. Kindly just enlighten us on this.
I think what is your proposal we understood. So with EMA, we have take discussion and take up with our other vendors also. So that, if possible, will suitably take a course.
Sorry, could you just repeat the last part? If possible, you said something. If possible.
If possible, we'll try to look at the date with discussion with you and your EMA team. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
we'll come back to you and work with you on it. Thank you.
Right, right.
Mr. Ajinkya Dagade, you can unmute yourself and speak, please.
First of all, good morning and thank you, BHL team, for such a great event. I am representing GMM Pfaudler. GMM Pfaudler is well known for its glass line equipment. We have several divisions of heavy engineering, agitators, and all these things. So my point was related to raw materials. In the list you showed, the raw materials, most of them are imported ones, and they are contributing largest share, up to 60% of raw material cost, which is going to be an imported one. Is it possible to change the MOC of raw material to then indigenous make? Like you have mentioned some of the cases alloy. Can we think on this to make it on indigenous node? Because alloy is not manufactured in India, and if we can particularly take an example of FGD, if we can replace the alloy 926, which contributes of 60% of raw material cost, we can change with an Indian make of SS316L and anything. That's it from my side.
I think it's a wonderful proposal being made by you, but at the same time, it requires a thorough technical discussion also. I think you understand that part. So yes, it is better if you can be in touch with us for this specific discussion separately, because from this forum, addressing your technical request is becoming a little difficult. So we'll like to take up with you separately, where you can come out with your suggestions, sir.
Thanks for your consideration, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I would request Mr. Rajesh Rao to please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, good morning, all BHL team and all the participants. I am participating on behalf of Ingersoll Rand. So we Ingersoll Rand have various equipments is supplied like compressors, agitators, and blowers kind of thing. Only issue we get as far as the government customers are concerned, as raised by Arun sir. So you are expecting lots of good quality R&D facility and all. But as far as government is concerned, always consider L1 as the criteria. So in that, maybe we will meet almost 10 specification of the tender requirement. But meantime, we may have another 5 feature which having a good technology, efficiency, reliability. If a private sector, we can convince our customer based on that. But how the government is going to take on this? This is my question, sir.
See, you have to appreciate the other part also. It is not that we are looking for L1, but at the same time, when we float a tender with some technical specification, so our primary requirement is just to judge or assess the bids or responses of various vendors on that account. But when we give such a bigger equipment or system, we give EOI also, where we can participate and have a pre-bid discussion where this type of things can be addressed before the final tender is floated, or we really do the assessment of the responses. But nevertheless, we being a public sector entity, that counting on L1 becomes a very mandatory feature or necessity rather, you can understand. But nevertheless, if the quality points what you are mentioning or the feature what additional you are giving, see, we cannot put anything restrictive feature or restrictive things in our tender. So that becomes sometime a issue. But whatever you have advised or suggested, that is a good thing you have told. We'll be looking into this. We'll take care of it.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
Not to go for L1 vendor always, compromising the quality.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rajesh Rao. Now we move on to Mr. Prashant. I'm unmuting you from here. You can unmute yourself and speak. Mr. Prashant, you have to unmute yourself from your end. Okay, in that case, Mr. Prashant is taking some time. Someone from Wellspun Specialty. You can put up your query, please. Wellspun? Okay, Mr. A.S. Nagarajan. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Good morning. Good morning, team BHEL, and I'm thankful to Samvad. I'm Nagarajan from Sequence Process Technologies, leading agitator manufacturer from Chennai. My question is that in the recent tenders, BHEL has given some relaxation on the pre-qualification to suit the Indian manufacturers. Is it to be necessarily approved by NTPC? In case if it is to be approved by NTPC, what is the likely time expected for getting such approvals?
There are two things here. One is as far as the relaxation is concerned, it's the government guideline when we give the accord the relaxations for the developing the engine vendor. As far as approval with NTPC is concerned, first we need to be satisfied that the supply from you is okay, and once we are convinced, then we go to NTPC with your credentials for approval. Now, approval as far from NTPC is a case where we can pursue it and we can get it done also. It all depends upon our being convinced about your supplies. BHEL being convinced about your supplies. Have you supplied in the past to BHEL?
Yeah, I beg your pardon. Could you repeat, please?
Have you supplied have you made any supplies to BHEL in the recent past?
No, we have supplied this through Toshiba, some BHEL projects we have done. But the issue is that the FGD experience, that is the biggest question mark. So many of the Indian manufacturers in the same line for agitators, we lack experience in FGD. So that becomes a question mark, and we are keeping our fingers crossed. Though we have vast experience in high slurry applications, this in particular FGD is a challenge. So that's the reason we are just particular about NTPC approval. But though BHEL has given the relaxation, will it materialize?
See, basically, we are going to suppose you happen to be successful bidder, we are going to develop you, and once we are convinced, as I just now told, we can take up with NTPC. Yes. What I would like to tell is prior experience when we talk about BHEL, we don't restrict ourselves to FGD application only. If it is a customer contract requirement, we say yes, we are restricted to FGD application. Otherwise, we also say it is for similar nature of works. It need not be FGD. So it changes from tender to tender. Our requirement based on the customer's call, we moderate our requirements accordingly. But otherwise, we are here to see that you are developed.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nagarajan. Can we have Mr. Devender Devgun? I have unmuted you from here. You can speak.
Good afternoon. This is Devendra Devgan, representing Jindal Stainless Limited, and we would like to thank BHEL team and DHI and DPIIT for this excellent program, wherein indigenous capability is being enhanced. So we have been associated with BHEL since long and have taken this development journey earlier also. Like earlier, this T91 plates. We tried, and now we are ready with the T91 plates that BHEL earlier used to import. And in parallel, we have developed the clad plates roll bonded, that is with C276, and other specialty alloys like stainless steel. So this development journey is along with BHEL Ranipet team, and now we look forward to taking it further.
That's so good of you, Mr. Devendra. We also request you to kindly be in touch with our Trichy unit and Vizag unit also, where cladded sheets are required.
Sure, sir. Sir, just in case one thing, like yeah, please continue.
Can you please specify again?
Yes, just one thing, like earlier BHEL used to import these T91 plates for the boiler internals. So because here in the EOI, the seamless pipes are mentioned, but plates are not mentioned. So just wanted to know regarding the T91 plate. Hello? Yeah, hello.
Can we request other participants to kindly mute their mics, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Shall I repeat, sir?
Devendra, we can do only on your T91 plates now. We are having our workshop in detail for the raw materials on 29th. Okay. Kindly join. We can join there. Our experts from Trichy unit, Ranipet, and even Vizag will be there. Okay. We can discuss in detail.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
So could you repeat the date and tentative date that you?
No, it's not 22. It is scheduled 29th December, 10 to 12 in the morning.
And the details for the same are also available on our. Yeah, and the details for the benefit of all other participants, the details of all our upcoming interactions, workshops are available on BHEL website, www.bhl.com.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you, Mr.
and like.
Can you say something, Mr. Devendra?
No, just thanking the BHEL team for this excellent organization and taking the indigenization forward.
My request to all members is please contact samvad@bhl.in and confirm your participation.
Okay, Mr. Prashant, if you're back.
एक्चुअली ये दो है, एक तो एलवी वाइंडिंग का है और एक एचवी वाइंडिंग का है। एचएल आप बोलते हैं ना, एचएल कुछ लिखा है।
Welspun specialty, if anybody is from there, you can speak.
Any more?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
Good afternoon, dear participants, and we would like to thank BHEL team and the Ministry of Heavy Industries to conduct such a big forum. We at Welspun Specialty Solutions have just started manufacturing of stainless steel tubes and pipes about 2 years back. So we could see few areas where BHEL is facing some problem on getting the tubes. We are competent and have the capacity to build to make these kind of tubes. That's a brief introduction. Just wanted one clarification. You mentioned about expression of interest, which was floated on the 13th of November. Probably we've missed this particular thing. So is it still open? Can we still go to the website and check?
Yeah, it is open. It is an open-ended expression of interest of BHEL. It is there on the website forever till such time we develop the vendors.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
That is available today, and we are also, let me share with you, we are also going to, right now the specifications are there, and tomorrow the photographs also will be uploaded, and this is a continuous thing. It is there forever. Once forever till we develop the total all items put together.
Thanks. We'll participate on 29th for the alloy steel forum.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Arun? I think he has another query. Do you have another query?
Hi. Hi, good morning. My name is Amit. We are representatives from the Techcraft Dilkar. Will be participating in BHEL tenders for FGD dewatering application. So my another query is on the payment terms. So generally we do have a lot of discussions on the commercial terms. So for the Indian vendors, there is no milestone payment or advance payment. It is on supply only. If BHEL can think on that part, will be good for any Indian vendors to have advance in the beginning. This is the approach. Yeah. Thanks for the BHEL team.
Arun, you raised a very valid point. In fact, through this forum, I'd like to share with all the members present here, BHEL is floating tenders on government e-marketplace where the payment terms are 10 days from acceptance. And even acceptance is 10 days from receipt. So it's totally 20 days. Within 20 days, you are issued of payment, and we have opened a jump pool account also in BHEL, wherein the payment automatically gets credited to your account on the 21st day.
Okay.
So subject to acceptance. Basically, acceptance is issue. It is rejected and there is accepted. Yes. 21st day, all vendors. I'm not talking about one. So my request to all members, please do onboard GEM. It is so, it has its own functionalities. It's a techno survey portal where all the features are embedded. And I will help. It's basically it is trying to unify the procurement across the country. Government e-marketplace is trying to unify the procurement across the country. In terms of demand aggregation, also you have better features there. So my request to all members, kindly onboard GEM.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, if anybody is interested to ask any question, else we'll close for the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you very much for a very hearty discussion that we had during the day. And now before we end, I would request my colleague, Mr. Jitendra Das, General Manager from Make in India group of BHEL, which is especially helping these initiatives within BHEL. I would request him to please present his vote of thanks.
Thank you. Respected Secretary DHI, Director DPIIT, Additional Secretary and Development Commissioner MSME, all other senior officials from ministries, DHI and other ministries, all directors on board of BHEL, heads of various industry bodies, suppliers and partners, all senior executives from various units of BHEL who are gathered today. BHEL has been a front runner in the endeavor to engage with various stakeholders in this Atmanirbhar Bharat initiatives. We have taken various initiatives in this company, and this is another such initiative under the mentorship of DHI. Now this is at the start, and in weeks to come, we intend to engage closely with various industry bodies, with various manufacturers, and to see that this particular initiative bears fruit. Now, just to recapitulate what happened during the day, Secretary HI set the tone. In fact, it was Director DPIIT who started, and I just pick up one important point which he raised, apart from the various public procurement initiatives that he mentioned. There is local content less than 20% will be barred from tenders. This is good news to manufacturers because otherwise it was only helping traders. So here is a case where there are companies who are represented in this meeting today claiming to manufacture the entire thing within the country, and definitely these kind of manufacturers need to be promoted, and DPIIT, I'm very glad, also helping us in this cause, and whenever we need DPIIT's help in relaxing some of these PQR conditions with our clients, we will be approaching them. Then Secretary Heavy Industry raised, as usually, very, very valid points. That is, BHEL's capability is not used in consumer items. This is something which you need to collaborate with private sectors. It will also help BHEL's brand getting known more. Quality, price, and deliveries are key to success. This goes without saying. These are the three key parameters gauged by anybody who wants to engage with suppliers. Private sector to invest heavily in R&D, and BHEL to break the mental barriers and be equal partners with the others in the industry. This industry in the private sector. So these are very key points that our secretary raised. Then Additional Secretary and Development Commissioner also proposed collaboration with the tool rooms that they have, 18 technology centers, especially the Chandigarh, Bhubaneswar, Kolkata tool rooms, which he said can be collaborated with, and products developed for import substitution. PSU is not cost competitive. This is something which we are within the company also addressing. At senior levels, we have formed teams to see as to how we achieve cost competitiveness. We have had very key and pointed questions from manufacturers. We are glad that people have very enthusiastically joined today, and some of these questions we intend to take up in detail when we engage with them in weeks to come. That's all, and I thank the entire team. Sorry for the minor glitches that we had. I mean, we were not prepared for this in such huge numbers that people have joined. And at the last, I thank our corporate strategy management team, strategic sourcing and policy, our director ERD, who has taken so keen interest in this. The entire board was here today. That shows the importance that we have accorded to this particular initiative. Corporate communications, corporate digital transformations, corporate HR, all of them have contributed to having this program today a success. And we intend to engage with you more in weeks to come. Please do join. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Wishing you all a very happy Christmas and a very happy New Year in advance, and wishing to see you collaborating with BHEL in many more numbers for a very useful innings together. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.